Tell us how you met. And why you stuck it out.
Heaven only knows.
Maybe how you stuck it out.
What did you see in him and what did you see in her? This is a test. You didn't know this was coming.
You tell it, maybe you do it better.
Well, I had this contract to teach at Territon, and long in the end of the summer, I drove out one Sunday afternoon to Territon to look the situation over, see what I'd need when I moved out there. And Ted's dad was the chairman of the school board, and I went to his house to get the key. And
That's your first mistake.
Ted came to the door. He had still his Sunday clothes on. He had his shirt sleeve rolled up, about to here, white shirt and dark trousers. And he
You
didn't,
still had another church meeting to go to then.
probably did.
Those days.
Yeah.
Anyway, there was this old back porch on the back of the house where we still live, and it had the door to the kitchen and then a screen up here ways. And he didn't ask me to come in the house. He went back to get the key and left me standing there. Well, Larry, I assume that he came out to look the situation over. I don't know, but here he came out.
So it was our job to monitor the school applicants.
Here he came out with a pitcher of water, and here by the door was a washstand and a basin. And Larry came out to wash his hair.
We don't know why we wash our
I
hair.
don't know why he was
During the
washing
church
his
meeting.
hair Sunday afternoon, but that's what he's doing. And he'd look at me a while and pick up the pitcher, and then he'd set it down. So finally I said, "Do you want me to pour?" And when Ted came back out, there I was pouring the water over Peppy's hair. And that's how we met. He thought, "She's a good one, I'll keep her."
She's a hard worker.
He didn't either.
She's always washed my hair.
I don't know what he thought. He thought it was strange. He thought it was funny. And I was kind of embarrassed. That's how we met. But really, it was music, I think, that got us together. First year that we were there, Ted was in Provo, going to school. But the next fall, he went to Provo and didn't have a place to live, and they had him set up a cot in the gym at night, and then they'd have to pick up all their stuff the next morning, and he stayed there a week and got discouraged and came back home. And so he was there in Mud Lake. You know how much there is to do in Mud Lake. We had a gal over at the school who was teaching with us who played the piano. She could play anything. And he got coming over to sing. He liked to sing. We liked to sing. Pauline liked to play. And that's how we got to know each other.
We were both assigned jobs in the mutual.
Well,
Music
yes.
directors and stuff.
Yes, and then we got to be dance instructors.
So we were really good on the dance dress.
In mutual. But really, it was the singing. He'd come over and we'd go down in the basement of the school, and Pauline would play the piano, and the three of us would sing together. We sang one hour. We would go down to the community church because Pauline was not a member of our church. We'd go down there and sing, the three of us, and we'd sing in our church. Anyway, he came over quite frequently.
Did he ever formally date you, court you,
Well,
or
Not
just show up?
well, he just came over and we'd go over and sing, and then we'd go to a church dance. I'd go to the church dance, and he'd say, "How about walking home with you?" I'd say, "Okay." Till I got tired of that, I said, "No, unless you walk me over, you're not going to walk me home."
Very demanding woman.
I remember she's a debate champion.
So
Okay, let's hear from the other side here.
You better tell him, sis.
What do I have to tell?
Because you can remember all that stuff.
Oh,
Was that right?
Yeah, that's right. Well, I was wondering how, Kurt, how you met Virginia.
well, our ward, we had a group of girls. Remember the dance festivals we used to have? Well, there were a group of girls that were college age that were doing, that we had performed dance down at the dance festival. And so we kind of just stayed together for a while. We went out and did, but in the dances they had, then we had intermission. We had entertainment in the intermission. And so the Institute was having a dance, and they called and asked if we could come and do the intermission. So we did, and the dance was over at the Second Ward Recreation Hall because the Institute really didn't have any place like that. And so we were there, and we didn't come, we came kind of as a group of girls. We didn't have, none of us had dates or anything. And we did our intermission, and then after intermission, a lot of these guys, well, and he came over to that dance because the ROTC choir from BYU were singing, the boys choir. And as part of the intermission. And so
There were several guys that I knew.
several guys he knew from when he went down to Provo. So those guys all came around and asked us to dance. And so we were dancing, and he'd asked me to dance. And one of the other guys asked me to dance, and he said, well, can I take you home? And I said, well, yeah, I guess so. But he didn't have a car. He had a car. So there were
Spoiled.
2 or 3.
He was as good a man as his dad.
Yeah. So there was at least another couple, another fellow and his girl, because that he drove around and the boys took us home. And then, I don't know how long it was, to tell you the truth, 2 days, I got a call from him asking for a date. And it just happened to be a time when I had dates to everything that was coming up. It was 2 weeks before I didn't have a date. And the date, he finally asked that the day that I could go someplace was the all-college ball. And it was a formal, big, fancy dance. And he asked me to that. And so I thought, oh, boy, here's some of the dances. And so, in the meantime, I couldn't remember what he looked like.
Left quite an impression.
Yeah.
But if you'd seen the back of his head,
In
Yeah.
fact, she thought the guy that, one of the other guys that was there in the car was the one who's calling.
Yeah.
The guy we called Chauncey.
And I found out this Chauncey was my English class. And so he came and talked to me, and he wasn't the one. And he says, yes, but he'll be over at the Institute for Sacrament meetings next Sunday. He goes to the Institute for Sacrament meeting. And I said, oh, so I think I took some of my girlfriends, I think, and went. And Chauncey Pants pointed out who he was. But it was kind of funny that, because I was really dating quite a few different guys. And then we went to that dance, and it was a really nice dance. And we had a good time. And after that, I didn't date anybody else. I just dated him. Then I found out he didn't like to dance. I should have been smart then.
Yeah, that happens to all of us.
Oh.
But there aren't too many that can get the doctor's instructions.
Oh,
No running, jumping, dancing, or shopping.
that dancing wasn't in there.
You got the no
And then
shopping
the
one?
shopping.
I gotta
It
change
cost me
doctors.
extra for that.
Oh,
You guys know who the doctor was?
yeah.
So
Saved me lots of
anyway,
money.
we really didn't go, he didn't date anybody else, and I didn't date anybody else after that first date. It just seemed like we were meant to be, that was the right person, that was the one. That
And
was,
you've done well. Very well.
yeah. we
I
could
knew
do that.
somebody who'd take care of me.
So, then we were engaged in a couple months, or less.
No, the dance was in February, as I recall.
No.
Valentine's Day,
Was that when it was?
that was when it was. And then it was probably June.
June.
Yeah.
We were engaged.
You were engaged and you weren't married till next December?
Till that December. We were gonna wait till school was out in the spring, just like everybody else was gonna wait, you know. And all our friends were married.
I can't remember anything about it until you were ready to be married.
Grandma said, we went down there and he just said, and this is Virginia, just like we knew all about it.
Yeah, they came down
Yeah.
just after you gave me the ring, wasn't it? Right around the time. I was trying to remember, they came down for, the ROTC graduation. That you were graduating from ROTC. Jean had just had a baby. Must have been, wasn't her first one though, because, must have been, no, is Jill second?
No,
No,
Tanya.
Tanya's second. Okay, so it must have been Tanya. Wasn't Sherry, must have been Tanya. And then we got married and the break.
Tell me about your weddings. What do you remember about that day? Week?
Oh, wow.
Year?
About our wedding.
What do I remember about their wedding day?
No, yours.
Oh, well, it was an eventful day. I was in the military service.
I pursued him.
Yeah.
You
we'd been-
pursued it.
Well, we just kind of talked about getting married before we left. We thought, when I was inducted into the Marine Corps then, I got into electronics training, and they said, well, we have the 3 schools. The secondary school would be in Logan, Utah. So we said, well, great, we're going to be married in Temple, Logan, Utah. Guess where the secondary school was? Clarksville, Arkansas.
Not a lot of temples there.
Not too many. In fact, there wasn't even a branch of the church closer than Little Rock. But anyway, my 3rd school and final school was in Corpus Christi, Texas. And we were corresponding, and she insisted she was going to come down. And if she did, of course, I'd have to marry her.
So they had to get married.
Yeah, married,
Good
yes.
strategy.
Because I would say,
And May came down on a bus all the way by herself. Clear down to Corpus Christi, Texas. And I mean, during the war, you know that riding the buses was no picnic. Servicemen had all priorities. At least once they left her standing along the side of the road.
no, but I thought they were going to. I was right at the head of the line, and the driver just kept taking people.
And you take the servicemen first, see, because they were had priorities.
And then he said, that'll be all. We're waiting for the next bus. And I just stood there. I know I just looked stricken. And he said, oh, you've been so patient. We'll find a place for you. And he let me on this. I didn't ever have to wait for another bus. But
She came down to Corpus Christi, and we found out we had to wait 5 days to get a marriage license. To get blood tests and so on. In the meantime, I'd rented a little place. I bet that room would be bigger than this one. That was our bedroom and the living room, and we had a little kitchen outside, and we shared a bath with the people in the next apartment. Actually, the bath was in our apartment, but they had to come through. It was great. And it cost us $10 a week. Not only that, but it was in the restricted area, the Mexican area, and had to have a special permit to get in there from the military. So we got there and had to wait 5 days, and well, if you had to wait 5 days, I'd come in and visit on the evenings, and then I had to be back to the base by midnight each time. Finally, 5 days were up, and we got married by a little justice of the peace. We said the only thing shorter than the ceremony was the justice himself.
He was a midget.
Just a little guy. Oh, he was?
Yeah, the people at the courthouse send us out to his house.
He, and the ceremony was short, you can imagine, you know. That'll be $2. I didn't have $2, but I'd married May for her money. I was making about $80 a month. What were you making?
Not very much.
I married her for her money. But then, we got married that evening. I had to be back to base at midnight, and immediately they slapped me with 2 weeks of guard duty. Right then.
Oh, no.
Stay on the base, guard duty, 2 weeks, you know.
And there I was in that restricted area,
That's right.
all by myself.
All by
There wasn't
yourself.
anybody else in
Some
the
of
other
her clothes hadn't
apartment.
even arrived yet.
My clothes didn't get there.
It was a real circus.
It was
I can
sad.
remember one night, we were in the radar, which was highly secret at the time. So in this compound, they had within the fenced base, they had what they called the radar compound. It was a old big high netting wire around the area, and we walked the guard around that thing 24 hours a day. It was with the 12-gauge shotgun, double hot buckshots, you know. I had this particular thing, and there was a movie at the base that May really wanted to see, and one of my buddies said, I'll take her. So here he went down, got the wife, and brought her back, and here they come walking by my compound. My new wife, my best friend, and I couldn't say a word to him against regulations.
Didn't say halt or anything.
Well, anyway, it was a picnic. Eventually, we got the guard duty finished. As England was in Corpus Christi, Texas. And it was nice.
We said that to be home at midnight.
Yeah. I'd be home at midnight every night. And he said to me, don't you understand? Don't you get this? He said, you're supposed to.
Okay,
That was our honeymoon.
that's a great story. Can you top that?
Well, ours was kind of wild too, but I don't know. The wild weddings must go.
Back in those days, the temple was only open one day between Christmas and New Year. And so that was a popular day. We spent most of our wedding day just sitting and waiting.
Sitting and waiting, yes. We were supposed to be there at 7 o'clock, I think, or 7:30. And it had to be an hour about before recession.
That was in the days when they did all the ordinances. Bang, same day.
Yeah, everything was done the same day. And we got there, and we were there in plenty of time. Because my folks and I had driven up the night before. And we stayed in Idaho Falls we finally got to, I think that's when we were married, wasn't it? Sealed.
I think.
Yeah, I think that's when we were sealed.
See, the mother wasn't able to go with you.
No. No. And I don't know how my dad managed that long, but he did. He stayed there that long. And we sat in one room for, I bet, an hour and a half. And sat and waited. There were so many people. And then in our ceiling, there were several missionaries. And they were people we knew that they asked if their groups could come in and be with ours in the ceiling. And so we had a huge group of people in our ceiling. And it was kind of neat because, as I said, my parents were sealed, and I was sealed with them, and we were married and sealed. But then we came out, and it was snowing. Snowing hard as it could snow. We didn't have any time that we went. I don't remember where we ate our meal, but we hadn't eaten at all. And so we got to, it seems like we might have gone to the Bonneville Hotel or someplace kind of nice. I don't remember. I can just remember the round table. Everybody was sitting at a big round table.
What time of night where you finally got through?
Oh, well, it was 3:30 before we were married. Then we went right to eat, and it was snowing hard, and it snowed all the way to the hotel. And all the time of our reception, it just snowed and snowed and snowed. And the reception was entirely different than they do now. We had a line. We didn't really. We did have a line, didn't we? And people came through the line. But then about halfway through, we danced. It was a dance. My parents said, I don't know. That's $25 for that orchestra. I don't know. So anyway, then we did sneak out. But it was late. It was nearly midnight.
They were all just still dancing, huh?
We were still dancing when we left.
Well, we must have come through the temple with you.
You
Right?
did, didn't you?
I can remember driving home after that reception. Longest drive I ever remember.
Yeah. Must have been because the snow was just
We
coming.
had an open house in Mud Lake.
Oh, did you?
I don't know when that was.
Yeah, that was the 30th of December. And the next day was New Year's Eve and then New Year's. And then we went to Idaho Falls and stayed in what was then the nicest hotel there. That was that, I don't remember, Bonneville or something, wasn't it? And then we went up to Mud Lake, and we had the open house kind of in the middle of the week. We had to have it early because we had to be back to school. We were going to school down in Provo. And so we and brought everything up from the other. And of course, you didn't decorate like you do now. We had 2 baskets of flowers. And we brought the cake up and right at the folks' house. We had a little open house for the people there. Then we went back to Provo. We didn't get a honeymoon in a couple of days, or maybe it was just one.
But you were down there all by yourself, so that was kind of a honeymoon.
Yeah, we were.
But we turned out pretty